Good evening, everyone. The time now is 7:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. My name is Bruce Wells. Shout out to Echo Vintage. This is my vintage pullover. The temperature is about 49 degrees um, um, Fahrenheit. Um, I'm a little tired. We just came back from horseback riding. It was beautiful, beautiful, and I encourage everyone to take a mindful, if you can afford it, if it's in the budget. I know a lot of people in the YouTube space like to share, what they're doing and what they're capable of doing. I like to be respectful of people's budgets, and I want to say, if you can afford it, take an opportunity, take a mindfulness horseback ride in your local area. It's life changing, transformation. Percherons is my favorite breed um, from France. They're beautiful horses. They don't have they're not like the Clydesdale. They don't have a lot of that hair around their hooves, but they're just beautiful. They're gentle, soft hearted, and they're good pulling, good driving horses. If you know what you're doing, and but if they're just you just love on them. That's all you can do is just love on them. And I hate to leave them behind, but I'll be back with them shortly. But that's not the point of my video. I My whole life has been backwards. When I first started coming out, I was truly and really distracted with so many things, and trying to find myself, and really find out what I needed to do in life. I actually came from the Dominican Santo Domingo, actually Santiago, Dominican Republic, into college. I wasn't focused. Sat down with my advisor, said I wanted to major in history. Ended up graduating with a history degree, and really did not what I really wanted to do was become a psychiatrist, and didn't really make it. And That's okay. But along the way, I dated a beautiful girl, broke her heart, and because I wasn't mature, it was my fault, and I decided to move on. I asked God for one more chance, and then I got a beautiful wife, beautiful gift, and from heaven, because I believe that's where wonderful wives come from. If you talk with God, not just talk. You have to understand God is not just God; He's our Father. And you sit down with your dad, and you say your higher power. You sit down with your dad, and you say, "Dad, I need a wife," and he listens to you, and he says, "Can you handle it? Can you handle what I'm about to provide for you?" There's no turning back, and you know how I am about um, just giving you gifts. And I said, "Yes, Lord, I understand. Yes, Dad, I understand, and I will do my best to um, I will do my best to be my best behavior and be good and take care of your gift." And this year is 18 years. 18 years. I have, as you can hear in the background, my I have three boys, one set of twins, and a 5-year-old, and I'm just loving life. And I went finally got the gumption to um, go horseback riding today, and you know, um, and I just wanted to spend some quality time with my family, and it was fun. And I want to start, and I would encourage all fathers um, to do that. It's not about buying the best pair of clothes, the most expensive pair of clothes, or the best car, or the biggest house. Sometimes it's simply spending a little bit of time with your children and just having them watch you fall asleep on uh, um, embrace nature, and then look into their eyes and tell them you love them. That's it. That's all a dad has to do. Of course, be there for when they fall, kiss their knees, kiss the forehead, encourage them. Um, uh, and we have to do our best as dads to try to make an effort to set goals for us. I mean, I pride myself because my concentration is in addiction, children, and families. That's what I focus on. That's what my professional focus, and I enjoy doing that. Not so much from just to tell people to stop doing drugs and consuming alcohol. That's not what I do. I walk people through purposeful steps to decide whether alcohol or drugs is the most appropriate means to manage their life. And eventually, through the cruel commerce of drugs and alcohol and the journey of no return, you find out that there is hope at the end of the tunnel and there is freedom. Sometimes the journey is so cruel. Sometimes the commerce is so cruel because it's so abundant, so available, uh, that sometimes we get besides ourselves and we forget that it's only by God's grace and mercy that we're able to come back through those journeys of no return when we maybe overuse or underuse, and all of a sudden we're in a experiencing medical complications because of the decisions that we make. And it creates distance. Most importantly, the people that are hurt the most is our children. Um, they're wondering when are are we going to come back and support them, and if we're selfishly investing in things that diametrically oppose our values, not build us up, not empower us, um, it just destroys our lives. So we got to have an attitude adjustment. We have to have an attitude adjustment. So this week, I'm going to encourage all dads to adjust their attitude. Adjust their attitude. It's only by God's grace and mercy that we have lovely children. It's only by God's grace and mercy that we have lovely wives. Um, Remember, I forgot his name. He unfortunately, senselessly and unfortunately passed away. He used to say to women some very interesting things about. He had a very interesting characteristics about women and how and their character, and took pride in telling even women of color, if their hair was a certain way or their language was a certain way. Everybody has a different color, a different color of attitude, a different appreciation for emotion, and we can't judge that because how God is. Um, God is amazing, and He can take nothing and make it something all the time. So it's not so much that you're 36 years old or you're 37 years old and the doctor's saying you're in the range of no return. Um, if that knight in shining armor is available for you and you spoke to your father and you mulled over whatever soothes you and you think this is the one, it will be the one. Um, I never thought I would have another opportunity outside of the opportunity that I had prior. And God saw fit that I be taken care of. And I can say I'm very happy 18 years later. I love my wife to death, I'm obsessed with her. And in a positive manner, she likes when I say it like that. And because she knows that I'm going to be there for her no matter what. And I'm going to be there for my children. But whomever your partner is that you got to be supportive, got to be encouraged, and then you got to show your kids that you could be strong and gentle and caring and tough on discipline too. Set the rules and maybe not too far, but be stern. It's okay to say no to your kids. It's okay to let them down. Say, listen, hey, it's not in the budget. Thought I could do it, but I can't do it. Maybe next time. And explain to them, communicate. A lot of I can't say no to my children. Yes, you can. You can say no to your children. They need to learn. Not everything in this world is accessible. And, I know this is an Insta world, but not everything is available. Gas prices are going up, and maybe that trip to Disney World is not in the budget. You got to cancel it. Boom. Cancel it. It's okay, but don't cancel it forever. Position yourself to win. That's what we don't do. We don't adjust our attitude and say, listen, well, we're not going to do it. No, yeah, we're going to do it, but we can't afford it at this time. And this is the reason why. Communication is key in every attitude adjustment. You got to adjust your attitude all the time. I go through it. I mean, really, I have so many blemishes in my life. Trust me, I do. But I'm working on me. But I also want to, you know, delicately share with you, um, through music, through poetry, through worship. So tonight I'm gonna read this little something from Brenda Walsh, famous author Brenda Walsh, and it's from her book Moments with God. I've always wanted to do this and share this with the world. Get an opportunity to share it with the world, and not so much to indoctrinate you. You know, I don't want to offend any religious group. That's not my purpose. I'm sharing something from my perspective, ideological perspective, that not to offend, but to encourage. I want you all to know that on Father's Day, that this is an opportunity to maybe take a concerted effort and evaluate your circumstance and say, listen, I might be struggling. I might be on the verge of uh, um, um, eviction, or on the verge of job loss, on the verge of divorce, on the verge of losing your child. You know, adjust the attitude. Adjust the attitude. Adjust the attitude. Don't turn to alcohol. Don't turn to drugs. That's not a solution. You don't need it. You don't need it. I understand it's easier said than done. The devil's that deceptive. Lucifer is very cunning. Comes at the right time to take the pain, to numb the pain. But adjust the attitude. Know that your value. Prepare yourself for the journey. Um, it's going to be tough. Ironically, this is June 10th. We're talking about people of my complexion. You know, gain the freedom to in Texas not to work anymore under the whip of slavery. Um, and I'm grateful for this celebration, for this holiday. It's not to offend any white person or Hispanic person or even black person, but it is to shed light on the fact that, hey, America, we were involved with slavery. It's terrible. It's painful, frustrating, aggravating. Many people got rich, um, more whites than blacks. As a matter of fact, Mississippi is one of the toughest states financially to be in. But it was at the time, at the crux of slavery, it was one of the wealthiest states. Louisiana, places like Louisiana and Alabama, places you wouldn't think of being wealthy, it was wealthy. I mean, Mississippi was rolling in the dough. And there was, I mean, it was in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, where the banks were. It was in Mississippi, it was in Louisiana and Alabama. And when they stopped slavery, those states really struggled. And I'm glad they did. I'm not glad that they struggled, but I'm glad they stopped slavery, because it gave us an opportunity to get to know each other. So much hate in this world. So many people so uh, comfortable with playing with hate and hating on each other and accusing each other. Um, there was a police officer I heard on a YouTube video, and as he said to the young African American man, this is why you people get killed. Why would you make a statement like that? I'm not saying that all police officers are unprofessional. That is not true. I know some very good police officers that are very kind, very spirited, and very polite, and very professional and very helpful. And but like in every profession, there are some very bad people. There's some very, newsflash. There's some black people that need attitude adjustments too. And just like there's some white people that need some attitude adjustment, Hispanic people and Asian people. And in Russia, I mean, Putin, I don't know what he was thinking, but he needs an attitude adjustment too. You know, you're a world leader, but invading Ukraine for what? Let it go. But anyways, I digress. Um, it is imperative for us to have attitude adjustments as fathers, and we need to set the example. I'm going to be coming on from time to time. I'm on um, TikTok, husband counselor, so I do stuff on there, and I'm going to be launching on YouTube, and I'm going to be doing this every day. And I'm not an Eric Thomas, I'm not a Jeremy Henderson, but I'm a Bruce Wells, and I'll be sharing some insight, some things that I think are applicable to our journey together for the rest of our lives. And I hope it's helpful, from sex to romance to finances to everything. I want you to experience what I've been through. I've been a behavioral health entrepreneur for many years. I have a master's degree in healthcare administration. Um, you know, I, but I don't care about my degrees. I don't care about what I do. Um, um, I just want to help people. I just want to give a different. It's not so much that I just want to help people because I can help people. No, I just want to give a different perspective. People are already doing what they need to do, and they're already doing what they enjoy to do. And whether it's being a hedge fund manager making trillions of dollars a year, to being a drug addict or a prostitute, gotta respect everybody. That's me. My wife always gets on me. He's like, you talk to everybody. I'm like, I just do. I don't have any hangups. If you respect me, I'm gonna respect you. I don't care. You know, just I'm just not judgmental. I mean, I'm judge. This is judge. I'm a judge-free person. But if there is a problem, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna front you on it. I have my faults, both financially. I've had my faults socially. I shared one of you, I mean, near and dear. I shared a near dear problem with me, and I'm not perfect, so I'm not coming over here saying, "Look at me, I've made it." That's all. You got to do it my way. No, I'm still in the rotation of the hustle. I'm still in the cycle of the hustle. They have this thing called revenue cycle. Well, I call it the hustle cycle. I'm still trying to provide for three boys. I mean, my 12-year-old is almost 6 feet tall, just turned 12. And my other twin is right behind him, and my 5-year-old, who knows how big he's gonna be. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving my wife. I'm loving being alive. And but yeah, let's jump right into it. Attitude adjustment. For those who live according to the flesh, set their minds on the things of the flesh. But those who live according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. Romans 8:5. I'm gonna read it again, but I'm gonna read it a little bit differently. For those who live according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. So, in other words, Romans chapter 8 verse 5 is talking about those who are focused on these worldly things. If you focus on this world, I mean, I, I mean, I love these entrepreneurs who position themselves to be very successful. Then it's like they have a mental block and they forget that they went through tyrannical changes to get there. I like how Elon Musk. I must say I'm not going to criticize him. He's a very interesting character, but he said that he would sleep. He sleeps in his factory. He sleeps where he works. He slept on his friend's floor. He wakes up, takes a shower wherever he can get a shower. He's committed, um, and I admire that, because I mean that's how I am. I mean, I went into, I shouldn't say I didn't go into business. I was kind of introduced to business through my mother, and she started a behavioral health practice. It's been a nightmare. I've been through a corporate divorce. I've been through starting a business, and it's still in its infancy, and it's still in the starting phase. We're still trying to figure things out, and it's tough. People are skeptical of working for us. Can we make payroll? Can we do this? Contract negotiations and everything else. It's tough. It's tough. I've been through evictions, homelessness, everything, you name it. And but I still stay fly. This is an Echo vintage. I mean, it's $800, but God is good. And the thing about it is, at the end of the day, um, I stay close to Christ. I'm not perfect. I fall into certain things. I do certain things, but that I'm not supposed to, and I'm still working on me. But like I said, it's a journey that I hope to share with you, and I'm gonna expose you to, and I'm gonna expose you to the good things, and I'm gonna expose you to the bad things, and I'm gonna tell you not to do certain things. But we're gonna look at how recovery looks, and I tell my people, you can't recover from addiction if you don't have a relapse prevention plan. So whatever you are engaged in that is hurting you, you have to have a prevention plan not to return to that plan. So it's called a relapse prevention plan. So if you don't have a good relapse prevention plan, you're going to fail consistently all the time. You're just going to be struggling all the time. So you have to have an attitude adjustment. So I'm going to say it again: for those who live according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. Romans chapter 8, verse 5. When someone we love does us wrong, let me say it again. When someone we love does us wrong, it seems to hurt much worse than if it were a mere stranger. I remember when I came to Oakland. I came from a place called Lancaster, Massachusetts, and um, I fell in love with this. Or I fell for early like for this white girl, and she was very attractive. I'll admit she had big breasts, and I was like, "Yo, those breasts were huge," and I was like, "Yes." A typical teenager, full of testosterone. I'm thinking about one track mind, and coming from a good Christian home. Yes, I don't have the rough background. My father has a couple master's degrees. My mother has a master's degree. She lived, she provided for me. My dad was always there. I was raised by my dad and raised by my mom. So, but I still, was a rebel Rasa. But then my father was like, we need to send him to his people. So I went down to school in Huntsville, Alabama. And, you know, but prior to that going, I experienced something very strange. The girl's father was a very prominent individual, and he had a very astute position in the medical community. He was an MD, and he called my father one night, and he said to my father, and he insinuated to my father that he had a problem with African Americans dating, and he had a problem with the age of us dating, and he also had a problem with the fact that I was black. And he didn't know how to articulate it, but my father beat him to the punch, and he said, "Hey, this is a black kid, black male dating a white girl. I know, I feel you. I don't know how this is going to go down." And the community was predominantly a very elite community. If you know Lancaster, it was a predominantly heavy laden Adventist private school, and it was and outside within that community, that was a college. And with that community, very wealthy individuals lived in that town. And beyond that, very wealthy individuals lived around the town. You had Princeton, Sterling, towns like that. So, but they were predominantly dominated by Caucasians. And being black, growing up in that community, was very hard because if you had a crush on a particular girl outside of your race, you were gonna have problems. You were just flat out. You're just gonna have problems. Um, and it was unfortunate, but it was a lesson learned. And I boarded that plane onto Oakwood, and never forgetting that. And I landed in Oakwood, and for a black boy from Lancaster, Massachusetts, it was like land of milk and honey. And it was overwhelming. I was not focused, and when I got there, it I started along the way, went through the rigmarole, and I finally landed on a really nice girl, and I started dating her, and this wasn't meshing mentally, and I don't even know why, and I messed it up, and I I did her wrong, and I was a dog, and And she might not say I hurt her, but deep down inside, I feel bad for doing what I did. And shout out to her for, and I apologize in advance. But long and short of it is, you're gonna live and learn, and you're gonna make mistakes. And I didn't once I made the mistake, never returned. Kept it 100, and I keep it 100 with my wife. And I encourage all young men coming out there. Listen, don't don't mess with these girls' hearts. Be respectful. Um, Monitor what you say. Um, if you can't, get help. Get help. It's okay. Come to a guy like me. Get help. We'll take time. We'll talk to you. We'll go through the stages of change to determine what amount of intensity to adjust your attitude. Just like that. It's tough. It's painful. A lot of guys dealing with sexual frustration. A lot of guys dealing with mental frustration. A lot of guys are dealing substance abuse frustration. Substance of frustration. This. I mean, they can't control themselves. So you need help. It's all right. It's all right to reach out to somebody like myself, or reach out to somebody, say, "Hey, I need help." Stop and admit that you need help. Okay, before it gets too late. So we're gonna start out with that first sentence again. When someone we love does us wrong, it seems to hurt much worse than if it were a mere stranger. Stung by the injustice of it all, we're quick to put on our protective coat of armor, avoiding all contact with the offending person. Soon the hurt festers, and before we even realize it, our emotions are out of control, affecting our self esteem and how we feel, think, and act about everything. We take a self righteous attitude all we take a self righteous attitude all the while insisting that we're okay. Sounds like you. When we fall this low, Lucifer has us right where he wants us. Mm, mm. Lucifer has us all right where he wants us. See, he wants us to believe that the world is full of cruel commerce. Talking about inflation. Oh, it's a new doom and gloom. Biden, Biden, Biden. I see these signs, let's go Brandon and FJB, I mean, come on, man, get a life. I mean, really, seriously, the president really doesn't make the power. It's through a clandestine, celestial, fraternal, senatorial, congressional uh, matrix of rules and regulations and backdoor deals that are way beyond President Biden. And he knows that. He's been in Washington for a long time. So all these people, I have to chuckle when they say, go Brandon and FJB, Okay. So he gets out of the White House. What next? Same thing. Lucifer controls this world. He does. God sits back and says, when will my people wake up? FJB. Lucifer sits there and looks at God and says, I know. I love it. Confusion. Problems. He's taking advantage. And he sets us up. So we walk around angry. We storm the Capitol on January 6th. We're just angry. I don't even know why we're angry. Just we're angry. There's a reason that God places such a high priority on maintaining pure thoughts. We can't possibly live a joy-filled life with Jesus if we do not hold if we hold grudges or hard feelings towards one that hurts us. So let me read the first line again. There's a reason that God places such a high priority on maintaining pure thoughts. I can never get back to what I did to my ex. And the reason why I'm bringing it up, because she didn't even know that. I mean, I had so many thoughts going through my mind. I wanted to marry her right there and then. I was that immature. I was that stupid. And I ended up breaking her heart anyways. And when I pumped the brakes and when I really realized what I was and who I was, I sat down with God. I had a conversation. I said, man, look, I'm out of control, Hov. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of control. I ain't talking about Jay-Z. I'm talking about the real Hov. I mean, I'm not holding up any dynasty signs. I was sitting down. I put down the music. I put down everything. I just got locked into what Christ was saying. And I said, I'm out of control. Instead, we need to do what the Bible has instructed us to do. In Psalms 51:10, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Black lives do matter. White lives matter too. Asian lives matter too. Spanish lives matter too. Everybody's lives matter. I'm not going to differentiate it. I'm not going to, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm African American. I fear for my sons. Fear for my sons because, there's a lot of hate out there, unnecessary distractions, sponsored and piped by Lucifer himself. But I stay prayed up all the time that my sons can make it through. I mean, my heart goes out to those family in Texas and mall shootings. I mean, come on, man. People dying in Buffalo, I mean, my heart, it's heavy. I don't know about you, but it's heavy, man. I was like, when I see people dead, I'm like, for what? For what? Come on, man. Adjust your attitude. Up here reading manifestos about, um, you know, black people and everything else. Like, no. we could work together. I know we're not going to work together because Lucifer is not going to allow it to happen. The Bible is very clear that in the last days you're going to see things you never thought you would ever see before. That's not what the Bible says, but it talks about that in Revelations. It talks about that in Psalms and in Proverbs and James. And we got to be ready. We got to stay aligned in tune with Christ. We got to praise God. We got to stay prayed up. And for those who are just teetering on what I'm saying, that are just not about God, keep a clean heart, keep a pure heart, be kind. I mean, you know, I, people come up to me, they say all types of things to me. Sometimes I get upset. And back in the day, I used to get upset. I used to cuss and swear and go off. Just go ham. Take it to the, just. Then I realized I woke up and I was like, what am I doing? I looked at my wife. She was naked. And I said, God, man, you gave me art. I was like, wow. You could put a Picasso or a Leonardo da Vinci in front of me. I'd be like, I was still looking at my wife and I was like, man, thank you. Then I walked out, looked at my sons, and they were handsome. They were sitting there. They was like, Dad, what you up to? What you thinking, man? I was like, just nothing. I said, I turned to them. I said, I love you. Children will test your patience. I know that. And I think about those parents who may have had a disagreement or a grounding, and they never will be able to fulfill that grounding, and they're still yearning, asking questions why. Stop asking the questions why. Pray. I think about those two kids that text each other and say, I love you. I was like, that hit me. I think about my boy in California all the time. He's my brother, man. He's not even my friend. I don't even consider him a friend. I consider him a brother. And I don't know what I would do without my brother. you know. But create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. This goes out to all those mass shooters out there who are considering pulling the trigger. It's not worth it. You're going to die. Or you may live, but you'll be locked up for the rest of your life like an animal. That's what Lucifer wants. He wants to lock your soul up. He wants to make your life miserable. Just some people like me out here. One of my clients said, "Why do you need to get paid?" And I was like, "You're right, I do. I need to get paid for what I do, but I enjoy what I do. Just sitting with them changes my life every day. I get high off of helping people because it helps me, and because I get to I have to reevaluate myself all the time, make sure I'm saying the right thing. Create in me clean heart, oh God. Renew a steadfast spirit within me. Talking to domestic violence, to the abusers. If you want to abuse your spouse, stop it. Stop blaming it on your past. Let it go. Stop being determined to ride the journey of no return. Get on the journey of freedom. Think about your actions. Put the bottle down. You don't need the vapors of opioids. Put it down. Let it go. Creating you a clean heart. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I would encourage you to turn to Christ, because that's what I believe is the only way to bring stability to your life. But if you're having a hard time and you don't have that amount of time, just take a moment and listen to me and hear what I'm saying. I'm being real. This is as real as it's gonna get. I mean, I've been down those roads. Dark, dreary, wondering what I'm manipulative roads. And I had to ask the Lord, create in me a clean heart. Change my life. If you are struggling with forgiveness, ask God to give you an attitude adjustment, replacing all the hurt with an extra measure of God's love. I don't even know you, and I love you. Ask Him to let you see those who hurt you through His eyes, so that you'll respond with kindness and compassion, forgiveness. I think about DMX when he shared a candid story. It was very moving. I was about tears when he said that an older gentleman in a circle introduced him to cocaine and marijuana, but he introduced him to the drug. He didn't know what it was. He didn't know. He wasn't about that. He was just a kid with no unbridled, walking through the streets, gutter, and very talented, very kind-hearted, compassionate dude. But he was being ripped apart by Lucifer. He was just going back and forth. He knew he had to keep his eyes on God. But every step of the way, there was somebody to hurt him. And eventually, they got a hold of him and they killed him. And we lost a beautiful soul, a beautiful person. Sure, he had his flaws. He wasn't, maybe to some, he wasn't a good father. Maybe to some, he wasn't a good husband. Maybe to some, he wasn't a committed friend. But he knew who God was. I hope when he went to sleep, he called on the name of Christ and he was able to turn his life over, even in the haze of drugs overdose. I don't believe that we go to heaven immediately. I believe that we're laid to rest. And when that time comes, when God returns, I mean, because if we all went to heaven, that would be strange. That a lot of people up there looking down on us. I don't believe that. I believe that there will be a time when God will come back for us, and He will look Lucifer in his eyes, and He will say, "What did you do to my children?" It won't be revenge. I believe Christ already had an attitude adjustment. We saw that through the Jesus' decision to commit his life on the cross for us, for our sins. I think Christ had an attitude adjustment. I mean, I think that's why we're here. And I believe that's why we're here. By God's grace and mercy. We're going to lose a lot of people before it's all said and done. We're going to be confused by a lot of natural disasters, man-made disasters, and just disasters in general. It's going to cause us to be frustrated. It's going to cause us to be angry. It's going to cause us to go out and do things to hurt ourselves. But I'm here to tell you it's not worth it. It really isn't. Adjust your attitude. This world is not going to last forever. So many people are mesmerized by making $1. Oh, I'm making this money, and you need to do it this way, and you need to do it this way. And you're gonna change your life if you just buy my book or you just look at my video and everything else. I mean, hey, listen, I'm there. I'm there. Do I believe that we need to manage our money better? Yes, I know I do. I got credit card bills. I gotta take care of car note. Expensive rent. I mean, the list can go on. I mean, so do we have to manage our money? Yes. Is having money in abundance? Great. Because I love to spend it on my wife. I love to spoil my sons. I love to spend it. Much more. I like to spoil my wife. My wife wants horses, and I would love to get her horses. I love Percherons. I'm in love with them. and I every opportunity, I should say, to get an experience to be around big horses, drafts, and Percherons or Glisdales and something like that. I jump after because they're such gentle giants. They're like elephants, another species of mammal I enjoy, or like whales. That I enjoy. They pass in the Cape, and they're just gentle giants. They don't mean any harm, but they teach us how to have an attitude adjustment. We've hurt their world, and they still come and smile and put their head against our heads, and I remember when I lost my dog. I mean, I wasn't raised in a home with animals, and my dog was. I had hamsters, and that was but I wasn't really raised with a dog or a cat. And I had a dog. His name was Webster, and he passed away last year. And the vet, I brought him into the vet, and I knew he wasn't feeling well. Wasn't walking on his rear legs, and he looked back at me, and I looked at him, and I said, "Hey, buddy, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be right outside the car." And the vet called me back and said, "This is it." I said, "What do you mean this is it? Oh, we're all done? All right, I'll come and get him." No, 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 no. This is it. You're gonna have to say goodbye. I said, no, not my buddy. He's my pride and joy. He's my baby. He's my first child. And man, I was all by myself. My wife's at work. My kids were at home. And the older boys were babysitting their younger brother. And, I was just all by myself. It was just me and my dog. And I just broke down and cried. But I had to have it. I had to have an attitude adjustment because I had to realize that he wasn't going to be around anymore, and it hurt. It really did. Um, Replacing all the hurt with an extra measure of God's love is what we need to do, and ask Him to let you see those who hurt you through His eyes, so that you'll respond with kindness, compassion, and forgiveness to the Ukrainian people. Don't just leave Ukraine. That is your homeland. Pray for Putin, that he has a change of heart, calls back his soldiers. You know, America stops doing what they need to be doing, and everybody allows the Ukrainian people to live in sovereign peace. The warlords in East Africa, the leaders in East Africa causing famine and problems and distraction in those beautiful territories. Attitude adjustments. Pray for our world leaders. Pray for our people in power. Pray for our loved ones. Pray for our haters. You know, it's hard. I mean, I get it. I mean, I get it. I get it. It's hard. People just want to hate on you just because. And it's easy to, all the vices are available, from nicotine to alcohol to drugs. It's all there to numb the pain. But mysteriously, it doesn't go away. But handing it over to a higher source of power sometimes helps. Handing it over to God, it's not sometimes, all the time, helps. When you do, all anger, hurt, and self-righteousness will melt away. And you'll soon see that forgiveness erased the pain. I'm gonna say it again. Ask Him to so if you're struggling with forgiveness, ask God to give you an attitude adjustment, replacing all hurt with an extra measure of God's love. And ask Him to let you see those who hurt you through His eyes, so that you'll respond with kindness, compassion, and forgiveness. I think about, there was this Asian man, I don't know what country he was from, Far East man, an African-American male, murdered his son. His son was a delivery driver, and the Asian man owned a restaurant, and he murdered his son. But the most moving thing that occurred in the situation was not so much that he not so much that he that he showed up to court. It was that he took the time out. He took the time out to forgive the murderer, the one who took his son. As a matter of fact, he asked the judge for permission to hey, come here. Let me hug you. Let me hug you. You be a good boy. And know I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to visit you in prison and check on you. There was not a dry eye in that courtroom. It was powerful. I'm not saying that that happens all the time. The pain is tough. The journey is tough. There are people that do monstrous things. I'm watching these professional uh, young ladies gymnasts who were molested by this monster. I don't know if what I would do. My daughter was taken advantage of. I would just be like, but I gotta, you know, we're all human, but we gotta find kindness. We gotta find compassion. We gotta find forgiveness because it'll kill us. That's what the devil wants. Sure, justice needs to be served. Everybody needs to be disciplined. Let the Lord handle it. He's watching everything. He does remind us in Revelation that he will return. But upon his his return, it's going to be crazy mayhem. Countries are going to be invading countries. People are going to be dying in masses. COVID killed masses, shut down countries. It's going to happen again. When you do, all anger, hurt, and self-righteousness will melt away, and you'll so see the forgiveness and erase the pain. Let the message about Christ and all his richness fill your lives. Teach and counsel each other with all the wisdom he gives. Sing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs to God with thankful hearts. Colossians 3:16. I love all of you who's watching this. I want nothing but greatness that is going to come upon you. I know it's hard. Some of you are facing many different challenges: mental health issues, financial issues, spiritual issues, social issues, political issues. Even our world leaders facing challenges after challenge after challenge after challenge. I know challenges, unbelievable. Some of you don't even think there is a God because the challenges are so great. The scientific swings are so intense that it's impossible to even think about what could actually occur. It's impossible to even think about what can actually happen. I mean, I see it all the time, and I struggle all the time to even think about what actually happens. I mean, but I try to keep my head up. I have to. I have to keep fighting. I have to keep working hard. I have to put my best foot forward. I have to, because if I don't, I mean, as you can hear in the background, um, you know, my my baby likes to be right next to me. He's watching every move I make, and I'm setting that example. It's cruel commerce what's happening to us. The rich are getting wealthy. That's not the problem. Let Elon Musk. I hope he gets $600 trillion off his amazing work. I hope Bill Gates makes $370 trillion. Jeff Bezos make all the money he can. Everything else. I even hope that even more billionaires come up. But what I'm praying for is not money. It's more powerful than money. I'm praying that people's anger dissipates. I'm praying that people stop hurting people. I'm praying that people stop being self-righteous. I don't care if you didn't win an election or not win an election. Who cares? You can't save this world. Neither can you save the United States. There's so many tyrannical issues that are bigger than your ego. You need to deflate it. Bring it down a notch. Who cares about what Biden does or do? Take it with a grain of salt. Look at your circumstances. If you don't politically agree with them, study your circumstances. See how you can adjust your circumstances to survive during those tumultuous 4 years. You don't have to say F Joe Biden. Your children are watching. Your Children are watching. They're saying, you know, they're gonna say those fancy languages, fancy words. You think it's the right example? I mean, I don't put my faith in man. I never did. Any man on this earth, any woman on this earth, never put the faith in if it's not anointed by Christ. Because there's a time I wasn't even returning a tithe. My lack of faith. Lack of faith. I was not legit. I was not living right. But I had to, in my job, I am tasked with engagement in people's emotions. So here I am walking around basically being a hypocrite, lacking faith. God's love is amazing. And he's generous with his mercy towards his children. We're all his children. Elon Musk is his children. Kanye West is even his children. He knows that. You know, that's why he'd be singing about Jesus. Jesus. He's singing about you because he's going through some things. I mean, mental health is real. You know, he's going through some things. He's telling you, like, I don't want to take these meds. I just want to be normal. I just want to be human. He's upset. I mean, because his mental health got the best of him, and he couldn't even hold on to his shorty. And now his shorty's moved on. All you can do is pray for Mr. West. I should say, yay, whatever. I don't know. You know, wish him all the best. You know, um, Elon Musk does amazing work. You know, I think he's sick. I mean, he successfully dreamed it. What every little kid did. I want to put rockets in space. Well, Elon Musk did it. You know, with no degree, nothing. He just got up one day and was like, "The rockets in space," and it's amazing. And I'm proud of him. Wish him all the best. Continue to set the standard high. Um, President Obama, you know, visually black. Let's not forget it. Where his mother had his back. His white mother had his back. Told him, "Hey, you can be whatever you want to be, sweetie." And sure enough, he was like, I'm gonna marry Michelle Obama, and then I'm gonna go to the White House." And he knew he had to marry Michelle because Michelle was the only person that was capable of withstanding that pressure. She's a good woman, and she, you know, I mean, when she entered the White House, some people say, what did she ever? What did Barack Obama do for black women?" I mean, as an African American man, did you not see Michelle in the White House? Did you ever see Michelle's butt crack? I mean, did you ever see her body? No. What you did see is a dignified black woman raise a standard. And we all have to have standards. And the way to raise that standard is to adjust our attitude. What am I missing in my life? Don't envy what other people have. Ask yourself, what am I missing in my life? I went to a beautiful horse ranch today, and I saw beautiful homes. And I didn't envy them. I just said, what am I missing in my life? What do I need to study to get to that level or beyond? I didn't say these are white people. White people. This is their community. They just get ahead. No, I said, wow, they have beautiful houses and they're beautiful people. What do I need to do to satisfy my wife? My black wife. I love her to death. And people say, why do you have to identify his black wife? Because for so long, my wife would be considered a bitch. She's not a bitch. She's a beautiful queen that I bow to every day. Not just bowing, I'm not just bowing to her, I'm bowing to God and saying, I got this. No, I said, thank you for what I do have. And that's an attitude adjustment. Before, I used to, think I knew it all, talk over her, yada, 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 the whole 9 yards. But when I adjusted my attitude, my relationship got better with my wife. Yeah, it got real good. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow. I was kissing cloud 9. I still make mistakes. Um, I'm a better shopper than she is. She'll tell you, like, people have this sexist thing of, you got to watch your wife with their money. It's reverse. As you can see, I know how to shop, but hang in there. The journey of no return should not be in your life. You know, give yourself grace and mercy. Um, I'm going to share things like this with you throughout our journey for the rest of our life. This is episode number 1. I was inspired by Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to those guys, man. They're making it cool to save money, making it cool to invest, making it cool to look at credit, making it cool just to be wealthy, to make wealthy decisions, long term decisions. Um, transformative guys, amazing guys. I love those guys. They are. I mean, I look forward to what they bring. The slutty vegan, um, um, what she did. I mean that. I mean, I was like right with her, and that was amazing um, discussion. And I mean, the things that they talk about is very important. And I would encourage Black, white, Hispanic, even Dave Ramsey. Look at look at our culture. Um, get behind it. Um, Dave Ramsey says some good things. Earn Your Leisure talks about has some good subjects. I'm going to talk about the whole 9 yards from history. I was a history major in college, and I didn't have the grades, but and I wasn't focused because I wasn't focused. I told you the story. I'm not going to go through it again, but now I am because I'm living that good life. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a Ferrari, I have a mansion yet. It's coming. Attitude adjustments, attitude adjustment, and it's coming. But we can't adjust our attitude if we don't have a higher power, a higher source of energy coming through our soul. Red Bull's not going to do it for us. That's only for. Have you noticed that the shelf life for drugs when we use drugs, when we do alcohol, we drink Red Bull, it wears off. But when we're serving God, it never wears off. Makes you think, like, maybe I should try this. Maybe I should inject God instead of cocaine. Maybe I should inject instead of heroin. Maybe I should, instead of sniffing cocaine, maybe I should sniff God. Maybe I should drink some grace and mercy. Maybe I should stop and look at my spouse and take them by the hand and say, I'm sorry, I was a fool. I mean, I guarantee you say that and your spouse will like do a 360 and expose you to things that you've never been exposed to. And I mean, when I said this to my wife, when I said, I'm sorry, when I said I messed up and she exposed me to things I've never been. I've been in Neptune and Pluto. uh, Metaphorically speaking. But, hey, listen, but we can't get control of this um, if we don't allow God's love to shelter us. Now, for those who don't believe in God, I hear you. It's going to be a challenge. You got to find a higher source to take you on this journey. Listen, I'm an African American. I'm African American. I have this is Juneteenth, my celebration, my July 4th, my freedom. Yeah, it's cruel commerce. It's cool. It's cruel commerce. You know, white people made money for 400 years without any compensation. You know what I'm saying? I didn't pay my employees one time, a couple times. And not only did they bash my business, they sued me they took me to court several times, and my mother forgets why they did that. And you know, in the family business, I went to court, and it was tough, because I didn't have the money management education to say, hey, I got to set this aside for payroll, got to set this aside, and this is what we're going to talk about, and this is business. I'm not gonna tell you how to buy a house and you get rich. No, I'm gonna tell you be careful. You know, um, and I might go into my experience with whatever I learn. I'm gonna share it with you. So we're going on this journey. This is episode 1 from the beginning. So my name is Bruce Wells. I'm the hip hop social worker who loves God and is adjusting his attitude every day. I hope you guys join me on this journey. We're going to talk about so many things. So many things. I'm going to ask so many questions. And we're going to dive into so many things. Because all I want to do is I want to be that representative for God that passes out grace and mercy. I want people to stop in their tracks and be like, yo, I got to change my life. You want people to stop in there. I don't care if you're struggling, if you're struggling with coming out and identifying if you're gay. I don't care if you're struggling with coming out and identifying if you're lesbian, if you're trans. I don't care. I don't care if you're heterosexual and you hate um, your gay son. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about buying a 6-pack when you need to buy diapers. We'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about why detox and recovery may not work for you. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about how to save money quickly. We'll talk about it. You know, and hopefully this vlog bumps up. I'm going to introduce you to my friends. They come at a price, but hey, I want you to meet them. I'm going to ask them the questions because they're the experts, and I'm going to get them to share their stories and share their insights on life and how they adjusted their attitude to be successful in their life. Because I want you to take what they say and try to throw it in the pot of throw it in your recipe, and so you can eat from it. Um, um, so we're gonna do this all the time. It's gonna be fun, I think, because I love to talk. I talk for an hour and 8 minutes. Oh man, you know, I love to talk. I love to talk. I talk to anybody. I don't care who you. I don't care if you're a Klansman. I don't care if you're a neo-Nazi. I don't care if you're gay, lesbian, drug addict, prostitute. Mass assassin. I don't care. Don't kill me. But I don't care. I'll talk to you. We can have dialogue. That's what we need to learn. We need to learn how to talk and listen. Talk, listen, communicate and listen. Communicate, listen. You know, it's what it is. Respect, first and foremost. That's what we got away from. We got away from respecting people, and it's sad. But we knew this day was coming. We knew this day was coming. But I'm motivated by love. I'm motivated by love. I came from the 80s when Luther Vandross used to sing about love. Mm. With Flojo, would get on the track and field and just run. That girl could run. You know, you know, um, Queen Latifah was just hitting it hard. UNITY, Guns N' Roses was doing their thing. You know, mm. Kurt Cobain, even though he took his life, I wasn't alive and thinking about mental health, but you know, Prince and Michael Jackson, they're coming out. Mississippi Mass Choir. Ooh, they could, don't get me started now. Attitude adjustments. Love you guys. Hope you're motivated by love. Remember, if you're struggling with forgiveness, ask God to give you an attitude adjustment, replacing all hurt with an extra measure of God's love. And ask Him to let you see those who hurt you through His eyes so that you'll respond with kindness, compassion, forgiveness. Let Him deal with that. There was a young lady that was recently talking about how she was trafficked from a Denver Mavericks basketball game to Oklahoma. Disgusting. There's evil demons out there. Rape multiple times. Evil demons. Rape multiple times. Let God handle it. Don't get in the way. Yeah, the court has its justice. We're gonna put justice on here. When God gets hold of it, ooh, I don't know. You know, my grandma used to say, "I'm gonna put God on you." I'm like, I feel bad for you. You know. Ask Him to let you see those who hurt you through His eyes, so that you will respond with kindness, compassion, and forgiveness. When you do, all anger, hurt, and self-righteousness will melt away, and you'll soon see that forgiveness erase the pain. It's that simple, but that hard. I love you guys. It's been real. It's been wonderful. And looking forward to doing this tomorrow. Yeah. So, all right. Be good. And God's grace and mercy. Let this message about Christ and all its richness fill your lives. I don't want you to starve anymore. I don't want you to, if you're cold, I don't want you to feel cold anymore. If you're hot, I don't want you to feel hot anymore. If you are poor, I want you to be wealthy. But not so much with money, but wealthy with God's grace and mercy, so that you can position yourself to gain richness to translate into wealth. So, one thing you got to remember, that God is our Father. So He's not. I mean, I'm not going to. You're going to become a millionaire overnight. No, you got to go through the storm. You got to go through pain and suffering. So be encouraged. For those who are contemplating suicide, be encouraged. You don't have to do it. It's not worth it. It's not. That bully who's telling you that you just should just shut up and die, take your life, I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't listen to the bully. You are supposed to be here. You are here for a reason. If you're thinking about picking up a gun, people are praying, Congress doing everything. If you're thinking about picking up a gun and taking some lives, don't do it. That's not your job. That's not your task. That's not who you are. Put the gun down. Think of a different option. Reach out to me on YouTube. I mean, you could talk telehealth. Tell me you're hurting. I'll listen to you. That's what I'm going to school for. That's what I'm trained to do. If you're thinking about, if you can't stop drinking, holla at your boy. You can't stop drugging, holla at your boy. I don't care where you are in the world. We'll try to get through the language barrier. I don't care if you're in the United States. We'll try to get through it. If you're thinking about hating on somebody just because of the color of the skin, call me. We'll dialogue, figure out why there's so much hate. We can find out. Hopefully, we can get to an impasse, and we'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna stop this hating. Maybe not get along with your parents. Highlight your boy. I'm a parent, but I can meet you on your level. Figure it out. Because I motivated by love, and I'm gonna teach you how to adjust your attitude. Okay. Planes can't fly at certain altitudes because their engines are too loud. They have to adjust their altitude by going as high up as they can because it's faster and they save fuel at 35,000 feet. 35,000 feet. Adjust your attitude by adjusting your altitude. Because when you're at that height, you see the world in a different perspective. I'm like, maybe I am bigger than this bully. Maybe I'm bigger than this situation. I just need to get help. I just need to talk to somebody. Reach out to me. Holla at your boy. I know there's going to be somebody trying to play games, kind of be comical about it, not take it very seriously. And that's cool. You got the problems, not me. I listen to you too. But those sisters who, may not, those young ladies not feeling pretty enough for that guy, don't put yourself down. It's not worth it. There are some men who enjoy the BBW movement. There's some men who enjoy just a nice conversation with a nice young lady. No sex, just a nice conversation. There are some men who enjoy a nice person in their life. They're not judgmental. They just enjoy a nice person. How about that? We got a lot going on. We have a lot to dive into, a lot of subjects to dissect, a lot of things to go through. This is video number 1. Tomorrow will be video number 2. And I love you guys. I really do. So thanks for listening. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to have this platform. Shout out to Alphabet. All the guys at Google. Y'all are amazing. I wish I had even that type of brain. But but you guys are doing amazing things. Don't ever. I know people saying you're the demon, the antichrist. Google's this and everything else. Nah, y'all are doing amazing things. Giving us a platform to reach people all around the world. All we can say is thank you. To all the computer engineers and I don't see this a lot, but shout out to all the computer coders, engineers, cybersecurity experts, all those people that give us an opportunity to protect our platform and our vested interest in intellectual property. Shout out to you. All those lawyers that are doing what they do to keep it going each and every day. Shout out to you. Mark Zuckerberg, I know what you're trying to do. Shout out to you too. Holding it down. Bill Gates, yeah, come through. Jeff Bezos, yeah, that's what's up. Don't what I would tell those guys, don't forget about the black coders. They out there too. Give them a chance, an opportunity to show their flex their muscles as well. Let's stop the hating, guys. Let's start loving each other. Let's start putting it forward, pushing it forward. We're gonna talk about some things, and I got a lot of friends in a lot of high places that are doing a lot more than me, and so I want you to take advantage of this opportunity to give me a chance. I got something to share, and I think it's my turn. So, tonight was episode 1, attitude adjustment, and I'm gonna leave you with the Bible verse that we read. For those who live according to the flesh, set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit, set the things of the Spirit. So they put You know, when you're living by the Spirit, you gotta live right. That means you gotta, I work with this kind gentleman. He's a very kind gentleman. He's very polite, and he's always caring and innocent. Um, and he's in tip top shape. And but he always has an encouraging word. It's wonderful to hear. So keep rising, keep fighting. Pray for me. You know, you know. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you watch my channel. Share it with other people that may be going through some things. Maybe you know somebody who's contemplating suicide. Maybe you know somebody who's putting themselves down because they got pregnant as a teenager. Maybe you know somebody who is thinking about dropping out of college. Maybe you know somebody who's just about to get a divorce. Maybe you know somebody who's beating their spouse. Maybe you know somebody who is just can't make it. Tell them watch this channel. Watch this channel. But also, this is what we're gonna do. As you listen to my channel, I want you also to share an encouraging word to somebody. Okay? Share something positive with somebody. I don't care if it's like calling your dad you maybe haven't spoken to your father in like 30 years. Call your dad and say, Dad, I love you. See what the reaction is. What's wrong with my son? Or what's wrong with my daughter? Share some more love with somebody. Ask somebody if they need some help. Pay for somebody's dinner. Even if it's Bill Gates, pay for his dinner. Be like, I'm looking out for you, man. It's college nights. I got to do the word. I got my degree because of you. I'm paying for your dinner. you know, he needs to pick me up. I mean, the man had a wonderful wife and he messed that up. But I pray for the both of them. I know it was challenging and tough. 28 years. I wouldn't know what to do, man. So, but wish you the best in everything you do. God bless you. Love you. One love. Bruce Wells. I'm out.